Through 4 games and 2 series, things are getting a little clearer in the picture for the Calder Cup Finals. It is the Moose out 3-1 on San Jose with a bit of a shocking result so far there. Meanwhile, the Devils and Checkers tied up at 2 apiece. Where we go tonight, we'll see if these series can finish or do we get Game 7s tomorrow. Hi, everyone. TSibs with you. Joining me tonight, Siege again, and an old voice from the past on LG Podcast. It is Prince of Zeus joining us as well tonight, helping to bring these games live to you folks, and hopefully they're starting out soon. Siege, Zeus, how you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad.
Doing good. Glad to be back, to be completely honest. It's been a while.
And and you've gotten a chance to look at these games and look at the series. You know, obviously the big story right now is the Moose out 2-1 in their best of 7, sweeping both games yesterday with 2-0 and 2-1 victories against San Jose. And you know, you look at those right away, Siege, and you say 1 goal for San Jose in 2 games, and obviously their first line was out there on Sunday for games 1 and 2, but you obviously need more output than that to have any prayer of beating a good Moose team from top to bottom. 1 goal in 2 games is not going to get you there.
Yeah, absolutely. They got shut out, and then they weren't able to, I guess, produce even an OT. So just had that 1 goal in the second game. That's just not going to get you to the finals.
Zeus, you've gotten a chance to catch up a little bit about what what went on yesterday and how the games proceeded. Is anything going on with that San Jose and Manitoba series surprising you at this point?
I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but knowing the cast and personnel that are part of the San Jose CUDA, they have a lot of prideful players just from way back in the day when I used to play against them.
Right.
And they take losses very seriously. So if anything, those last 2 games, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to them that they would go into the hyperbolic time chamber, get a lot of training done in real quick, just to be able to keep up with this Moose team that seems to be just running over them. We had Jack Duke earlier just saying, go get him. If not, I got your game. I got your back game 2. So he's clearly not worried about game 6 if it comes to that.
And what do you – I mean, again, this is a team that, we saw from the moment it was put together, a lot of great expectations from a lot of people, folks handing them the cup before the season even started. That kind of pressure, I think, also, you don't gain an awful lot by winning something that people expect you to win. Is that kind of pressure, you think, weighing on them a bit? And obviously they've worked hard all year long to get where they are, but I kind of feel like that pressure of needing to win, expecting to win, can weigh on you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, forgot I was muted there for a second.
Yeah.
Having going from, what was how many games did they lose in the regular season? 10, right? Some stupid number. So, these guys don't lose often. So the fact that they've lost the last 2 in a row, I don't remember if they lost game 2.
No, they won game 2.
Okay, so they did bounce back after a loss. So, hopefully the same 2 lines that, lost last night can have a bounce back performance tonight, tying it up and giving their first line that last chance in game 7. But right now, it's really the Moose's to lose. They have 2 chances to kill them, and if they don't, I feel like that could become a real big problem.
All right. Let's switch over to the other series before these games start, and we believe they'll be getting going soon here. The Devils and the Checkers, again, we saw, quite a different type of style of play, and in that late game, a 6-5 Charlotte victory. Devils victory. Not a lot of great defense there. I thought goaltending was fairly subpar in that game. We've talked to, so you just said this over and over again, West is best, but it is, it is not quite the same level of play, so same caliber, but by the same token, it's been interesting to watch for sure, Siege. And we may not see all the stars that we're seeing in the other series, but we're still seeing two teams who are battling hard against each other.
Yeah, they're definitely well matched. The games have at times been interesting. I would prefer to never watch a 3 or 4 OT game without goals. But I mean, they're equally matched. I think that if Advance were here, he'd say equally matched in mediocrity. But I mean, there's good players on all 4 teams. It's just that the level of play that we're seeing in the West, it's just completely different and much more interesting to watch at times.
You mean much more on an NHL level?
For some of the lines, sure.
Yeah, no, the two teams that are over in the East, the Devils and the Checkers. Checkers being a former West team, so you'd think they'd be able to just run them over with, being there in the past. But no, they're keeping it tied 2-2, having massive, shootouts last night, 4-2, 6-5. So hopefully we get games like that tonight. That'd be actually really fun to broadcast. But
so one of the CUDA players messaged me that some random is in their DR, so expect a late start.
Oh, okay. As is tradition, though. Wouldn't be an LG game if it didn't start late.
Yeah, well, it's true.
But no, the biggest thing I found interesting was Lehkonen getting punished hard. Guy only made 3 saves last night in the loss.
Yeah, that's not the guy we saw playing last week in Game 7, and his positioning usually is really good, but part of that was his defense, part of that might have been positioning, but we'll see how that turns out. Now, this game is about to get underway, Devils and the Checkers, so we'll switch over to there. No Frills has his stream up, so we'll take a look at that as the other game is trying to get into the locker room right now, so we'll, as you mentioned, we'll see where that goes. And, again, as we're seeing here, Checkers are the team in white, going from bottom to top of your screen. Devils controlling right now here in the first period. And, again, it has been interesting to watch this because you're comparing it against the other series. You're seeing different plays. You're seeing different strategy. This is more, this series is more like almost more like watching a regular hockey game. You're not seeing a lot of, fancy stick movement or whatever. You're seeing kind of an ad hoc kind of play, and it's it's not been this overly stick handling kind of game watching these two teams. And I don't know, I kind of have fun watching that. I think it's more exciting to watch guys just fly all over the ice.
True.
I agree. I mean, seeing teams go up and down, but as long as they don't continuously turn the puck over, when that kind of thing happens, it just gets kind of annoying.
Well, as you see, and we'll talk about the lineups here that are going in this first game for the Devils and the Checkers. On the Checkers side, it's Alexander, Preep, and No Frills up front. Frost, Wolf, Boston Rules on defense, and God of America is in net tonight for Charlotte in this game number 5. The Killer, Chowski, and Tough Cuts up front for the Devils. Frosty, GTA, and Bottleman on defense tonight, and Lakeinen back in net. And so those are the lineups, pretty, from what I can see, pretty evenly matched. And so far, not a lot of great opportunities. Good one there, finally, for the Devils. Good shot on net as they're trying to move it out. And now coming back the other way is the Checkers, and the Devils controlling halfway through that first period. And no score in that game. The other team, the other dressing room is starting to fill up a little bit, so hopefully we will see that game getting going soon. And as you did mention earlier, Dupe is in there on right wing with I'm assuming. Let's see. I'm not sure of the lineup here for this one, but you're right. But you're right about Dupe getting in there and playing in this one, and not a big surprise there. Dreamy in net again tonight. He's had a pretty good series so far. And certainly a linchpin to me, we've talked about this on many other series. I kind of see goaltending the same way I do in real hockey when it comes to this league. If you've got good goaltending that's hot, we've seen too many series in every season of LG where, that hot goaltender, we've seen guys come down from the NHL to play in the playoffs, can mean a big difference this time of the year. And, maybe some of the cheaper goals, maybe some of the goals that you got away with before, when you get a hot goaltender or, someone who has a lot more experience in net, not so easy to score on them in playoffs. I think the quality of defense goes up when you get this far in.
No, absolutely. You're right. I mean, you're playing against teams that have been able to not only play, or not be able to play, be able to field a good goalie that can, stop the basic shots, but then they put a defense in front of that goalie to help them out tremendously. Because more so than previous games and years and seasons, your defense plays a bigger part in keeping things contained. I mean, of course, it always helps to have a goalie that can bail out your defense from time to time, but you oftentimes want your defense to not have that problem. And looking at, the Checkers and Devils game right now, it's kind of looking like the defense has stepped up from the last game that they played where it was a 6-5. So, I mean, looks like we're going to get a much closer game, but they're doing a lot of rebound shots. It looks like both teams have a game plan. They want to get the early rebound goal if they can.
4 shots on net for the Devils, 1 for the Checkers so far. And as you mentioned, obviously, relatively defensive game at this point. And I think that's kind of part and parcel to playing 4 games where things are a bit wide open. You take some big swings, and then maybe after that you settle down and just try and play within yourself. And I think we're kind of seeing that a little bit tonight in this first period. Not a lot of chance taking by either team. The Devils, are known for playing good defense, known for, if need be, playing an incredibly tough neutral zone trap. But haven't necessarily seen it that bad. Good save there by God of America on a good opportunity for the Devils. And they're getting some passes in, but they're not connecting just yet. And you see them getting back as quickly as possible to that blue line. They are making the effort to get back quickly. If there's nothing happening, they don't wait too long to come back and help out on D. Looks like we finally have gotten teams together on the other side.
They had to make a new club.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
sure looks that
awful.
Way. Or they're using someone else's club.
Maybe, yeah. Because they've got, jerseys and stuff. That's
yeah,
tough.
we'll be cutting to that one here shortly. But yeah,
That's
it's this is the time that you really don't need these kinds of issues, and it always seems to show up for these guys. Unfortunately, it's this game's really good at crapping out when you need it to really not crap out.
It was less the game and more a troll, right?
Yeah.
I'd say more the
just
community at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of dumping and chasing going on for the Devils right now. It's actually kind of interesting.
And that's kind of what we saw in Game 7 last week of their last series against Toronto.
I mean, it's working. They're maintaining possession. They're just not getting quality shots off at the moment.
We're going to fade on over to the other game that just started up. Moose and well, it's sort of Chicago, whatever. It's going to be a trip now that's going to get called on San Jose as the Moose are about to go on a power play. Good opportunity there to try and get a shot off, but this early in the first period, Moose get a power play opportunity, and that's something that you in this game this deep in, tough to score power play goals, but when you get them, you have to try and make something out of it. Moose working on the power play, good block shot there by Kornak, and coming back the other way. Quick shot on net. And again, we see this, we see cycles of this happening where, players will we'll try and work the puck in more than passing or taking shots. You know, you could do that for a while, but at some point you've got to start putting the puck on the net. And if I'm San Jose, I do that as much as possible now.
Yeah, I would agree. Just to make sure we don't have another 4-shot game.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that something that really has to ring out to you when you look at the stats and you say, crap, we had 4 shots? I think maybe that's part of our problem.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead, Zeus.
If you can't score, then there's no way in hell you're gonna win. Especially this late in the season, being in the conference finals. The team that shoots the most will win. There's very rare chances, or not chances, I said, but rare situations where the team with less shots wins, especially at this point in the season.
We haven't gone over the lineups. We'll tell you now for the Moose, it's 98, Jared and Jack Dupe up front, Pesdemic and Lecaroux on defense, and Dreamy in goal. Kornick, Patriot of Canada, and Smeared Pap on the front line for San Jose. Pitcher Swag and Ziggle on defense, and Nuak Sid in net tonight for San Jose. So again, 2 good goaltenders. That kind of says to me a 1-0, 2-1 game, more than likely in this one as well. But, we've kind of gotten that for the most part out of this series. You're not going to get, unless you got guys who are quitting on themselves, you're not going to get blowouts in this one.
Yeah, I think all the games have been like 1 or 2 goals, other than Game 2 when Kuda came out really mad. 5-1 win.
Yeah, and that's, obviously, and I kind of expected that a little bit last night because of what happened yesterday. And obviously we weren't on yesterday during all this, but, we saw what was happening with these games and what happened with the first game of the series between San Jose and Manitoba and the late, well, actually not late, but the early edition of a ECU goaltender when they needed to put somebody from the roster in to begin with, all that garbage. That kind of situation can definitely get a team riled up, and it probably riled both teams up. I'm sure Manitoba felt like it was a bit of a disrespect kind of thing. But, if I'm San Jose, I guess I have to do that too, if nothing else, to maybe get the penalties that they got early on to try and do something early in that game. But, I'm old time. I say let sleeping dogs lie and not take too many opportunities to rile up the other team. A couple of good opportunities there for Manitoba.
Another power play there.
Another power play coming up for the Moose. They're moving the puck well. They're getting good opportunities so far. Probably a little bit better of the play here in the first period.
Devils and Checkers just ended the second, still 0-0. Lehkonen looks like he's back on his game.
Coming down under 6 minutes in the first period now as the Barracuda able to clear the puck out. 45 on the power play. 98 coming in, trying to find something. Now back to the point. Good deflection shot and a rebound was open there. Opportunity, wide open opportunity there for Dupe, but not able to get a stick on it. Now he controls. Good shot. That one, I don't know if that was gotten a little bit of a piece on the goal stick, but now back the other way. Meanwhile, third period, Charlotte and Binghamton still no score as they are played 2 very quick periods. Good quick wraparound save there by Dreamy. And now Manitoba the other way. Rebound right out front for 98 off the shot, and he slams it home. And that's the kind of play that you're looking to do. 98 on the opposite side. Got a good pass from Jack Dupe and actually off a shot. And again, putting pucks on net makes this play. Back the other way on a quick partial break and Dreamy on the save. Not a ton of offensive opportunities yet for San Jose. And again, puck in the neutral zone as they try and work it in, meeting up with 3 guys from Manitoba right on the line, and then come back the other way. So maybe the Moose doing a little bit of their own defensive trap.
Lots of time left to play.
Oops, a lot of audio there. All of a sudden, sorry about that, folks.
It's all right. Looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game in the East again between these two. Not excited. I came here for some goals. Where are my goals at?
Get ready for a 4OT 0-1 game.
I'm here. My body is ready.
That's all.
We'll take a look at this game here. Charlotte and Binghamton again. We'll got plenty of time on the other one, so let's keep with this game a little bit as we're in the third period. No score. Binghamton about ready to lose time on a power play here. I think I'm a little bit surprised at how good Charlotte's defense has played at times in this series. Obviously, a 6-5 victory, not one of their better games, but you know they've held their own in this series. And there's a quick opportunity in front. And finally, Charlotte.
Excited.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care.
They are incredibly happy with this. Yeah, these guys are awfully happy with this goal so far. And Charlotte on the board. Meanwhile, as we know, Manitoba up 1-0 in this game. In the second period, we'll get back to that shortly. Let's try and stick with this third period, Charlotte and Binghamton.
Their defense, there we go. I was supposed to say, their defense is wide open. They really need to work them the puck.
That's kind of been an issue for the last few games I've watched. Defense is just kind of standing on an island.
Oh my god.
They didn't see it.
There's 5 people on the ice, guys. Come on.
Well, that's almost an epidemic in this league.
I feel like there was a memo that was sent out that was just like, you work it down below the goal line and your defense doesn't exist, and I just missed it.
Look, to me, the better teams that you see play this game use their defense all the time. Move the puck around, even if it's just to pass it, to get the puck moving, to get the defense spread out. It's common sense. And again, we all watch hockey. We all see teams do this all the time. Why in this game we don't?
Manitoba's got a 5-on-3, 1 minute 50 second with a CPU on the ice.
Yep.
That game's
I was
over.
about to say.
So, yeah, it looks like, yeah, you're right. It looks like one of their defensemen has lagged out on the San Jose side.
No.
Yeah.
They took 3 penalties.
Oh, is that the case? Okay.
Yeah, so one of their guys is going to be sitting on the bench unless they do time management.
Yeah, how this is dealt with. And, oh, wow, what a fluky little goal we just saw for the Devils. Pass out front, knocked off a couple of skates and went in. And that was a brutal goal to give up for Charlotte. That game, as you see, now tied at 1 as we hit the 6-minute mark here in the third. We may get another OT game in this one.
Kuda just killed an entire 1 minute and 40 seconds without even passing the puck once. That was quality.
Sorry, I thought you were taking.
Yeah, if they get through this, they might have some momentum.
True,
It
but
looks
they got
like
to
they
get
might.
their computer off the ice.
Yeah.
Well, and they are at even strength again, so yeah, Kuda able to kill that 5-on-3 opportunity. But boy, I tell you what, Manitoba moving the puck incredibly well and getting so many close-in opportunities. Kind of amazing watching that. Getting down here under 3.5 minutes now, and the Devils and the Checkers tied at 1 apiece.
Oh, there you go.
Good steal there. And you see the tight defense. Devils definitely do come down low, everybody, to make a good defensive play. Good blast on net. God of America is there to make the save.
like on one-timers, there's like a 50-50 chance of those.
Manitoba still up 1-0 in that game. 9 minutes left to go in the second period. As we get down close to a minute left to go here in the third, Charlotte and Binghamton tied at 1. See Charlotte bunching up there. Good defense there, forcing an offside.
This next face-off is the largest one this game has seen.
I think you see some of the best defense played in this game during the playoffs, only because nobody wants to make a mistake and everybody's coming back to help out.
Yeah, no one wants to be the reason why they lost by 1.
See, I almost said nobody wants to be the GOAT, but you kids today use it very differently than we used to.
Kids today.
GOAT was a bad thing when I was young.
Listen here, Grandpa.
Scapegoat? Yeah. Like...
Well,
I'm gonna call you Pops from that one.
Trip there late, and the Devils will get a power play here.
30 seconds. Plenty of time. Only takes 6 to score from center ice.
A slow, well, actually, no, it's only a slow 10. It's interesting how in overtime, that last minute or two is real time in overtime periods. We saw, what did we see? 3 end of period power plays?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it was real time because of the penalties, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think it was, it's a benefit to get that penalty late in the period because of how the clock slows down.
Yeah.
And it was funny how it happened. I think we saw 3 times in a row.
3 times in a row.
Same
It
team.
might have been the same guy as well.
At that point, you send out a memo saying, don't press that button.
Give you a quick look of the Manitoba San Jose game as this one is getting close to the end of the second.
They are moving that puck. I'm loving it.
They are doing a lot better job moving the puck around.
Here we go.
Good opportunity in front. Dreamy there again to save it. They clear it down.
Wow.
And that'll be the end of the period. And we'll switch back over again as the first overtime, because I'm not confident it will be the only overtime, is starting between Charlotte and Binghamton. Some play behind the net, really bunching up Charlotte right in the middle. Chowski with a good pass back to the point.
Oof. Good recovery.
Yeah, seriously.
Chow is one of those guys who does play this game the way you should. He will move the puck around. He knows the value of that. We saw that in Game 7 last week. You know, he was the one guy who was really good about moving the puck around and getting himself in different position to try and make something happen, and he needs a little more help with that. Point shot blocked, and now back the other way comes the Checkers. No fills, trying to find Alexander. He does. Good opportunity there for Preeb. Can't put it home. Frost saves it, keeps it in. Another trip on Charlotte now. And another opportunity for the Devils to do something in a power play opportunity.
There's got to be some sort of sense of urgency coming out of the CUDA right now. They got 16 seconds before, or 16 minutes before their season's over.
Let's end it right here.
We'll get back to that game in a little bit. As you mentioned, we're down to 15 minutes left to go. Still in the third, 1-0 Manitoba in that game. They hold on. They will advance to the Calder Cup Finals. Another tripping penalty coming up against Charlotte. The Devils finally able to get a shot on net. It'll be a 5-on-3 for 1:10 in this game now.
4-on-3. One of the Devils took a penalty.
Oh, they did? Okay.
So more room on the ice.
Yeah. Can't see everybody. But an opportunity here.
That 1-T is dangerous.
I do feel like these have been decent defensive games, but I also feel like there's been a lot of penalties, and I don't know if I'm just imagining that, but I wouldn't expect more than like maybe a penalty, a period.
Nice. Alright, that's it. No, we saw the penalty.
I got 4-on-4.
4 and 3 for
Now Devils back power play. Manitoba scored again. 2-0 on their side.
98, his second goal of the game. He's got both of them. Manitoba up 2-0, and we'll get back to that game shortly. Under 12 now in this first overtime. Charlotte and Binghamton again, 1-1. Charlotte playing smart on defense, not taking too many chances. Another save in the game, Manitoba. Dreamy playing as expected. I mean, we know this kid is good, and he is, you know, he has been pivotal for Manitoba. I hate to tout goaltenders, but they are a big part of this game, especially in the playoffs. And when you get one who's playing incredibly well, I mean, you could take chances. That's the good thing, you know. If you've got offensive defensemen who want to jump up a little bit, you can take somewhat of a chance with that.
I mean, before this game, he was, I think, 1.43 goals against in playoffs.
Right.
Which is just wild.
You know, competition goes up. You're expecting the numbers to do that too, but just hasn't happened yet for Dreamy. He's been on. I mean, as a defenseman, Siege, you know that's there has to be a big difference in how you play your game when you've got a goaltender that you know can save your ass from time to time.
Oh, for sure. Like, if I don't trust my goalie, then I'm kind of just scrambling all over the place, freaking out. But if I trust my goalie and I know, like, oh, they're going to hold the post, or, like, I know their tendencies, then it's a much more, like, relaxful game. I know that I can just kind of play my game, and when I mess up, I know that they're going to be there to, you know, basically bail me out.
Zeus, do forwards have that mindset at all? Like, I guess it maybe depends on the forward, but I mean, if you really feel some concern about whether or not your goaltender is any good, do you feel more responsible to come back? Do you know, is it more about the position where the center should worry more about that?
So, I mean, yeah, I play a winger, but for the most part, if I know either my goalie or my defense is lacking in a sense, then I won't play so far forward in a sense. Like, I'll be playing a little bit below the face-off circle, just to kind of crowd that area in front of the goalie on defense per se. But it actually affects my offensive game a lot as well, because then I don't use that the L3. So you have that little boost of momentum, the extra speed burst or whatever. I don't use that offensively. I only use it defensively in those kinds of games.
Right.
Or if I'm playing, you know, extreme biggies and I have to play against like class act or some crap like that, then yeah, I won't even use it offensively. I'll just take what I can get.
We'll watch the last couple of minutes here of Manitoba and San Jose. The Moose up 2-0. 4-4 now as the Moose just took a penalty, which will open up the ice a little bit, which may or may not be a good thing for San Jose. You would think a 4-on-4 could help their offense a bit here, but so far Manitoba controlling it.
They're nervous.
They need something now. San Jose needs a goal right now, and they know that. Good defensive play there. Nice poke check.
Manitoba's killing the clock. That's all they got to do, and it's over. Just like that.
Good, again, good team defense all around. Manitoba has really controlled this game from start to finish and are very close to doing something major here. Finally, San Jose gets a good opportunity, and one of their own forwards blocks the shot.
That wasn't a forward. It was a defenseman.
Oh, was it a defenseman? Okay, everyone's up.
It's over.
That's tough.
Manitoba clears it out, and they are killing a penalty right now, so they have the opportunity to put it down on the ice. The last couple of seconds tick off here in this one, and the Manitoba Moose have done something that a lot of people didn't think was possible. They have knocked off the San Jose Barracuda 4-1 in 5. A two-goal game for 98 in this one to give them the victory. And, boy, let's keep an eye on the shout box because I guarantee
I'm already heading over
I'm
there.
there.
it is not going to be pretty. Overtime, first overtime, as I said, not enough. It's going to take a second one at least for Charlotte and for the Devils.
Wait, there's another game going on?
And wow, you know, Dreamy said he wanted to come on after the game tonight.
Let me bring my son on.
Yeah, go get him. Let's get him on here and talk about this game. Wow. You know, I wasn't sure.
In the meantime,
Yeah, I wasn't
Charlotte
sure.
and Devils are going to a second overtime.
I wasn't sure if losing some of the players that San Jose lost would make a difference. Maybe talent-wise it did. I question whether leadership-wise it may have also affected them. But let's get back to the game, as you mentioned. The Devils and the Checkers just starting the second overtime here.
Maybe we'll see some of those CUDA players in the NHL next season instead of them just sitting in the AHL.
Well, we had a lot of talk about that off air, right? So, and there's going to be a lot of talk of that leading into the next, you know, in about 3 weeks, two weeks really before the draft happens. That's happening on February 1st, which is a Thursday night. We'll try and come to you live with the draft to at least talk about what's going on there, and then bidding starts that weekend. So. Plenty coming up, but in the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to hear a lot about what you're talking about, which is, okay, now when do we start making these guys play in a higher league? And I think that's a lot of what the rules that have been talked about are going to hopefully remedy. We'll see how it works out. Here's a break coming back the other way. Alexander, and a beautiful opportunity in second overtime. A good quick lead pass out to Alexander. And the Checkers, in their second overtime of this game, have won and have gone up 3-2 with a chance to close out in the second game tonight. Really not too much. Good, simple play.
I know that move.
Sometimes the simplest moves on a breakaway are the best, because sometimes you're expecting a couple moves, and you know what?
Nope.
Beautiful opportunity there. Beautiful play.
Straight line it, pick a side, and stick with it. That's all you got to do in this game. That's exactly what he did right there.
Good opportunity there. Nice play, and we'll see if we can get some numbers here as the game finishes out.
Oh, they're gonna watch that replay 9 times. I like it. Right off the break too. Right off the face-off, he just took off.
Goal from No Frills and Alexander on this one to give the Checkers their 2-1 win. As you see, 19 saves to 18 saves for the two goaltenders there in that one, and that is a lot of activity. Of course, it was a second overtime, but for sure, lots of activity in this one. And so that game is over, and we will wait for Game 6 to take place in a little bit, and we'll see how quickly they get that one together. And meanwhile, Siege is working on trying to get Dreamy on with us to talk about this series and how things have worked out. Maybe we can get Jack Dupe on as well to talk a little bit about this and talk about where their Moose team is going, the Manitoba Moose. And I know Vibes might not necessarily want to talk about it, but the Moose are going back for a second straight Calder Cup appearance. Certainly a very different team last season, but again, a lot of the some of the same guys from that team are on this one, and they are back to try and win another cup, and we haven't seen that yet in this league. And I don't even know, Zeus, if we've seen a team, I have to look that up, if we've seen a team get back to the finals the following year. But the Moose have done it, at least in this season, in seasons 5 and 6, back-to-back showings in the Calder.
I'll do a little checking up on that.
And we do have Dreamy on, I believe now. You there, buddy? He may still be setting up.
Yeah, he said he was looking for his headphones.
Okay, we'll get Dreamy on for a second. I want to see if we can get Dupe on as well to talk about this game. But wow, what a interesting series, and you have to wonder if there's been some discussion about starting your top line those first 2 games, and then you have to wait until Game 7 to see them again. Maybe that was, getting 1 game in those first 2 seems to have been a big difference in this one.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't go down 2-0, which would have just been kind of the death knell. But, I mean, both teams burned what we think is their top line.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey, Dreamy.
Oh, shit. Hello.
Dreamy's with us now on the broadcast. Dude, congratulations
thank you.
on
Dude,
another amazing game.
I had the microphone turned off for Discord. I didn't realize that.
That's okay. You're on now, and boy, is honestly, truthfully, now that the series is over, could you have imagined that you'd be taking these guys in 5 games?
No, I honestly thought it would go 7, to be honest. They're a great team. I mean, look what they did this year.
Well, look what you guys are doing. Again, a ton of talent. We talked about it. We went back and forth about it last week on our show, and I think everyone felt that you guys had a better than average chance to do something in this series, but it was awfully hard to look past the San Jose lineup. But again, you guys have a ton of talent, and I think I think goaltending plays a part of it. Defense plays a part of it. Last 3 games, you've given up 1 goal against the San Jose Barracuda. I think that says a lot about how this series went.
Oh, after Game 2, when they absolutely handed me my shit, I knew I couldn't play that bad again, and I knew that wasn't going to happen, honestly.
What were you guys saying after the first 2 games? Let's just talk about Sunday, when you guys were able to at least split those first 2. Did that change how you guys saw the series at that point?
Our plan, like the whole night, was to basically try and get a split. That was the whole plan, was to try and get a split, because we saw that they threw their top line both games, so
right.
We just wanted to squeeze out 1 win and then push on from there.
And how do you obviously you did well, but how did you feel about the team defense in this series and your own play?
Oh, the team defense was great. I mean, I just show up, play. I mean, I played good, I think. But the team D is definitely a reason why I played so good.
Mom, you have any questions for your son here?
Mom.
No, I'm super excited for him. He played a hell of a game. I told him, best of luck, but you're ruining my bracket, and I think it's very rude that he would go ahead and play that well of a game, but, I mean...
I think you actually ruined 90% of the league bracket, including my own. So
I think
everybody,
it was 72% for the CUDA, so there's
everybody
a few.
counted us out from, when they saw the matchup against them, after going into the Admiral series, people still didn't think we were going to pull it out.
I put them in 7, so I mean that means I have faith in you guys at least that far.
To be honest though, I would not have been home tomorrow for Game 7, so I knew I had to close it out tonight.
Wow.
So what's it feel like being able to be in that spot in itself, that your team can trust you with the net to protect it?
Dude, I don't even know.
People say it's just a virtual hockey league, but at the same time,
no.
It's friends.
I mean, dude, my team is literally like a family to me now. I'm not even gonna lie. Like these dudes are unreal. But this is actually, to be honest, this is my actual full first season of goalie in league. I mean, I played CHL last season, but everybody shit on me for my record and my goals against average in playoffs and thought I would choke this season. So, like I've been saying all week, I just want to make a statement.
So that motivated you, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love MGML, but him talking yesterday, bringing up the 5 goals against average from game 2, that just fueled me.
Bad idea. Don't get me mad.
you don't get me mad at all.
So you're like me in a sense.
I will put it down your throat after you talk.
Hey.
Yeah, that's
She's like that probably.
Don't threaten him with a good time.
I mean, all the respect in the world to the CUDA, though. They did battle.
Wow,
but,
yeah.
We just got the upper hand.
Well, and you mentioned that, it's and I was saying it earlier about the whole, the protest of Game 1 and how that went, and we were saying that, don't get teams riled up. That's how I feel, and so tell me, when all that was going on yesterday, when people were talking about Game 1 and there was going to be a forfeit and now it's reversed, did that get you guys pissed off as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was told to stay out of the show box when it was going on because my team knew what was going to happen if I went in the show box and went full blast. But I probably would have gotten site banned. I'm already on the verge of that. But no, I mean, that did fuel us. But I did talk to User after games last night, after the second game. He was just going for the penalties. He didn't want to forfeit. He wasn't trying to scum us or anything. He was just going for the penalties to start Game 3.
Right.
So
Can't blame him on that one.
I'm just gonna say, I mean, I honestly think Man Bear was drunk.
Yeah,
when he did that.
I could get penalties for it, but a forfeit win over what ends up being an eligible player?
So the second apparent ECU was a last-second roster sub of a D-man who's actually on our team.
Right.
So yeah, you had 2 ECUs. You put in a roster guy, and then you had the other ECU playing. That's not a forfeit. That's like a slap on the wrist. They give you guys a PK or 2.
Right. When
Probably
I talked to Man Bear, he claims that it was like the second time that it happened all season, and I went through all the stuff, and I found out. I went through everything on our team, lineups, whatever I could find. That was the first time it's ever happened, and JMM said, and them the site was down, and we let them know beforehand. That's why User was just going for the penalties, not for a turnover of the game.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, it was something that we discussed, and I kind of, my feeling is you don't give guys more fuel to go out there and feel, like they need to prove something. And, the idea of getting a penalty out of that was nice, but to me, I don't know if it's worth, you've gone 1-1 in the series. I don't know if it's worth getting guys riled up on the other side. They were already behind the 8 ball by having to start their, what we believe would be their top line of Yusa Pasta for the first 2 games, and you guys come out of it with a split. You're already ahead of the game. I just didn't think it was necessarily the best idea to do something that might get you guys motivated more.
I'm surprised that they threw their top line both games because they knew they weren't going to be able to use them until Game 7.
Oh, so it's a scheduling conflict then. That sucks.
From what I've heard from Pasta and them, they had availability issues all week anyways going into the series.
Wow. So
they were trying to pull out too.
That sucks.
They were trying to get up 2-0 because the whole CUDA team knew I wouldn't be there for Game 7 if it went to 7. So I'm glad that Nazi and them did pull out.
You gotta stop talking, Dreamy. Stop telling your opponents, I won't even be there for Game 7. So.
I love the CUDA. I respect every single person on the team, especially even though Dux is gone and what User and them have done. They won the Presidents.
Sure.
You can't take anything away from them.
No. Really, that's the only thing that matters. The President.
I know, I did.
That's what I learned last season. You just want to win the President Trophy.
I'm going to boost my ego right now. I have 5 shutouts right now in the playoffs. Still with a series left to go.
Hey.
I broke the shutout record last night, and I just added to it tonight. I'm just boosting my own ego for a second. I mean, I think I've earned the right after that series.
It sounds like you're pitching for the playoff MVP should you guys win the cup.
I am definitely pitching for that. But, I mean, I've heard being the goalie, your chances are slim to none.
So I guess I'll see you in the NHL next season then, yeah?
Yeah, no, let's not bring that up. I did my time, and I didn't like it.
A week.
Yeah, I did a week against Colorado, Dallas, Chicago, and I don't even remember who else. But
Really?
I got worked.
Got bounced
Wait, was
around.
I on that? Was I in that game?
Which one?
What week was it?
It was, dude, I couldn't tell you. I put that behind me. It's out of my memory.
Oh, I'm gonna bring it up. You
Oh
stay put.
God, I'm gonna stay put. Till you guys kick me off, I'm staying.
Give me a second, Sis. I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna be muted.
I do gotta give a shout out to Nazi and Lobo. Everybody hates them, but they put this team together with Dead, and we're just proving our point at
Yeah,
this point.
I was there.
Oh, great.
Me, Serp, and TSibs.
Yeah,
Boy.
you guys worked me.
That's Chicago, man. Trust me. They
Yeah,
do
I
it. Just you put on the jersey, you become a completely different player.
Like, I won my first game against Detroit, and that was it. Downhill from there. And everybody rags on me because like they claim I demanded a send down, but from the beginning of the season, I told Dead I didn't want to be brought up because I did a full season in CHL, I did a full season in AHL, now like that's what I plan on doing. But I don't. Nothing against Winnipeg or Dead, but that team just. No matter how good I am, you can't sit on your head every game, especially against the top lines.
So
you
what,
can.
So what
You
did
gotta believe.
you just send me?
Dude, I did my best.
Zeus, what did you just send me? What was that?
Oh, that's the link to his 7-1 loss to Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, him working me.
Well, he did face 19 shots. I mean, you know, you do want to.
He was given zero help from Winnipeg that night.
Out of this whole series, though, I think the biggest shock to everybody was me backpacking Game 2 last night.
Hey, you've got a Calder Cup to go, but I wouldn't. I don't know if I get too confident just yet.
Oh no, we're gonna steamroll the East. I don't care. I don't care who's watching. We're steamrolling the East. I don't care if it's the Devils or the Checkers. I'm steamrolling. My team's steamrolling right through them.
Wow. Okay.
And if it's the Checkers, who's no frills?
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
Exactly.
I think he has a civic.
Everybody has said like the West, whatever team wins the semis, it is taking the cup.
That's kind of been the tradition.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the Moose last season as a TC for vibes, so I'm kind of happy if we can go back to back.
I didn't know you were TC for them. That's right.
The only time the East won the Calder Cup was season 1, and that was Hartford and Wolfpack.
And that team was stacked.
Yes.
That team was absolutely stacked.
Yeah, season 1 Hartford was very scary.
But that's the thing. I've been saying it all week. Like, this series was the main thing on my mind, but I don't care who we play next round. Starting Sunday, it's a steamroll fest.
Steamroll. You might want to copyright that. Steamroll fest.
I will trademark it and everything. The East, I mean, I will say this. There were a couple good teams in the East. I honestly thought the Phantoms were going to make it out over the Checkers, but the Checkers just came out of nowhere. Like, who is this team?
They got one more game, and then they meet you guys.
Did they win that game?
They won game 3?
Yeah, they won.
I'm not
Game 5, yeah.
But they're not a bad team, but the depth that we have, it's too much for them.
Hey, Brian adores Liz in the shout box saying, I don't know what's bigger, Dreamy's mouth or the MVP award he's going to win. So he dished you and complimented you in the same sentence. It's pretty talented.
I mean, everybody has been counting us out, and that was it. Make a statement and move on.
But you guys, you mentioned it before, and we talked to Dupe earlier this week, and he mentioned about how you guys all get along well. You know, I talked to Brian offline saying, yeah, you know, the team won last year, but it was such a dysfunctional team, and it's not at all like that this season. You know, he's really happy with how things have gone, and it sounds like you guys are just one big family, the way you said earlier.
Oh yeah, we are now, but like I will admit, the only people that have ever had problems on the team were me with management, because everybody knows who I am.
Yeah,
everybody knows who I am and how I am, but I had problems with management at one point, but we fixed that, and I basically it's just like, they let me do what I want. As long as I don't get in fights with the team, we're good.
I'm thinking management just learned to just let you do what you want because they had no control. Is that probably is that a fair statement?
Yeah, they just let me rock. That's all it was.
Have you seen him in the shout box?
Yeah.
I'm the
I'm
the only person from my team that defends the team and just trashes everybody.
No. Well,
I've earned my name as a shit talker, and I'm proud of it.
But you can back it up so far.
Yeah, I mean, like the first series when I put up 3 shutouts against Rockford, everybody was in shock. But I mean, Rockford did lose their top forward in what's his name? Whatever. We'll just go with Street Smart because that's his actual name. But they did lose him, so that hurt them a lot. But after that first series, I knew I found my groove, and that was it. I just built off that first series.
Did you feel like you weren't necessarily there when the season ended? How did you feel about your play when Week 9 was done?
I looked at the stats. I looked at all my. If I don't win the Vezina, this site's rigged. I've been saying it since like week 4. I'm taking the Vezina. I'm taking the Conn Smythe, and I'm taking the Calder with my team.
Well, the Calder is the next stop on the trophy train for you, apparently, and of course it'll be fun to see how this all winds up. But you know, yeah, like you mentioned, playoffs so far you're 9-3, 88.2 save percentage, 1.31 goals against, 5 shutouts. Yeah, I mean for playoff MVP, I think I think you're certainly up there. There haven't been any tremendous goal scorers in the playoffs just yet. And, you know, I think much like the real game, you come down to defense in the playoffs. And you guys have, you know, like I said, you look at the numbers, what you've done against San Jose as a team is pretty amazing and something to be proud of, just how you've been able to keep them down. And 7-game series is much different than playing 82 and coming away with only a few losses. You've got to win, and you got to win now. And you forced San Jose's hand, and they just didn't respond in this one.
No, they didn't. I mean, like I said, I've said it. Everybody said it before. They're a great team, but I will give it to Nazi and Lobo and JMM. The line matching that they pull out is incredible.
8 goals in 5 games for the Barracuda. One of them was a 5-goal effort in Game 2. So. For the other 4 games, 3 goals total, and you know, for a team of high-powered that San Jose is, you know, you're just not going to win doing that. And a lot of that's the defense and the goaltending. And Dreamy, hey, thanks for joining us tonight.
No
Congrats
problem,
on that win and getting into the next round. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you.
Yeah, you'll see me after 4 games, so you see me Monday night.
Yeah, Dreamy, thanks for fucking up my bracket again.
You're welcome,
I
Rob.
appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, bud. We'll talk to you later. Congrats, and tell the rest of the team congrats for us.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, take it easy.
Bye.
That's Dreamy, the game-winning goaltender tonight. Again, 5 shutouts for him in the playoffs.
That's insane.
That is insane. I mean, I'm not sure what you do to make that any different other than you've got to get him moving. I mean, we watched these games, and he was in position, but I didn't see a whole hell of a lot of an effort by San Jose to move the puck as well as they're capable of doing. And, you know, they played into what Manitoba wanted defensively. And then, of course, Dreamy is just there to stop just about every shot that comes his way. That's just not a winning combination for San Jose.
One thing I noticed though with Dreamy, he was moving, but he was moving precisely to not like overcompensate for his position in a sense. So he wasn't afraid to slide from side to side, but he was doing it calculated, which is an NHL skill, which is why I told him I'll see you in the NHL next year, and I actually believe it. Like he's probably going to get picked up by a team like Dallas or even, you know, Chicago if they can't get a second goalie on a cheap, you know, contract. I could see them going for him because they can put a team in front of him to give him exactly what he has in the Moose right now.
Right.
You know, solid team defense in front of him, and that's really what a goaltender needs up in that league.
Well, that's, I mean, look, the more I play 18, the more it goes for any game, quite honestly. 17 really was the same way, but 18 more so. You really, with the bounces that happen in this game in front of a goaltender, the deflections, the pucks rolling up the chest protector and over your shoulder and in, you know, not making huge moves as a goaltender is incredibly important no matter what level you play at. And Dreamy's one of those guys who, you know, as wild as he might be and everything he says in the shout box, when he plays the game calm and he plays it in a very precise manner. And that is how you play goal in this game. If you jump around all over the place, you may make a couple of spectacular saves, but you're going to find yourself out of position and not ready for a shot that you should save. And, you know, as you mentioned, that's how you play in the NHL too. But I think in general for 18, in this position of goaltender, you've got to be quiet in that. You can't be all over the place. And, you know, that gives your team the best chance to win when you're able to do that.
Agreed. Going back to have we had repeating Cup finalists? The answer is yes. Season 1 and Season 2, Hartford Wolfpack made it each time.
Okay, yay. I forgot about that, sure. It's not that long ago. It's like... I forgot about it already.
You're just old.
I know. Thanks. I was waiting for that.
Hey, we were both there back then, Season 1.
Yeah, I actually signed up after bidding was over and the season was close to starting, I think. I don't think I'd started yet.
Same. I started as preseason, and they needed a TC as an ECU, and I was like, I'm available. And scored 7. They're like, you're on the team. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how this works. What do I do?
Well, we're waiting for the we're hoping to get Epic Skillsy's feed. He's streaming this next game between the Devils and the Checkers. We should be seeing that one start up shortly, we hope. Until then, we will keep rambling here about this series. And this one now up 3-2 Charlotte. I hate to jump ahead a little bit and speculate, but I will anyway. Charlotte takes this series, one of the next 2 games. What kind of realistic chance do they have against Manitoba? All right, we know Siege's answer already. We'll give her a chance to compose herself, and then she can give us a real one. But you can go first, Zeus. Tell me what you think. Is there a legitimate chance for the Checkers in a finals against Manitoba?
So what I'll say is that they're still a West Conference team.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with that. We're gonna roll with that. No. So realistically, the Checkers, if they play exactly like they did in the previous game, in their next series, so low turnovers, low penalty takes, and was able to control the game as well as the pace, then I could see them, you know, losing in 5 instead of 4.
Right.
But you can't expect to win games in double overtime because of their lapse in defense to give you guys a breakaway. Like you can't beat the West that way. It's not happening. So yeah, I would say, you know, if the Checkers do win, then the Moose would probably win in 5. So they'd take a game off of them, but just Dreamy doing what he's doing, there's no way the Checkers are going to win.
Okay, Siege, go ahead.
I've calmed down. Sorry. I thought you were going to ask, like, how Checkers versus Devs were going to be this game, so I was looking, and then you said Moose, and I lost it.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, I totally agree. Moose in 5, like, they might grab a game off them. I'm not going to say that they're going to get swept, but it's just a completely different game. And, I mean, the Checkers, at least have some offense going. But oftentimes when they have some offense going, they have no defense, like in that game where they gave up a 3-1 lead in the third by giving up, I think it was 4 breakaways in like 15 minutes. And they got lucky. The Devils didn't score on 3 of those. But there's no way that, like, you've got Nazi, Lobo, 98, Jared, Dupe. Like, those guys are going to score with over a 50% chance. And it's just going to get ugly.
Absolutely.
Like, people have tried to say that, like, it's a defensive versus offensive matchup.
Right.
And it's not, because the Moose have good defense. They've got amazing goaltending. And we're just saying that the East is defensive because they're not able to score. Like, that's why we're saying they're defensive. But they're not.
Well, I probably would agree with you. I think it probably would be Moose in 5. I don't know. I would think the Devils wouldn't fare any better, but this is now they find themselves in the same situation San Jose did, which is people are going to expect you to win now, and that might be an interesting turn for them.
Possible, very, very possible. If the Moose do what my team did last season after coming out on top over the Gulls in 5 when they were the hottest team in the league,
right?
We got absolutely bitch slapped the next round because we were way high on our own, egos. But yeah, so if they can keep level headed, keep the egos in check just for another week, 7 more days, boys. Just keep it cool for that much longer, and you win the Calder, then you can let go and you can say everyone's trash and we're the best and yada yada yada. You can say whatever you want, but don't do it too early because that always bites teams in debt. Always, 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 always. I'm pretty sure the Cuda were thinking the same thing when they were going to go to the Moose. Like, oh, we got this. They're shit. And 4-1.
Well, I think it's I want to believe that they're going into the finals. You're not, you're at that step, and so there's no point in thinking too much about how well you played San Jose. The best thing they could do right now is just get past it and figure out. Let's take a look at these teams tonight, and watch this Checker Devils game. And see what you're up against. You can't think about, well, what should we be able to do? We should be able to beat these guys, whatever the case may be. In the end, you got to play the guys, and if you got to play the other team, and if you don't go out there and throw yourself out there with just the same energy that you did against San Jose, you're in trouble. I mean, you could wind up, not taking it seriously enough and losing a game, and then all of a sudden you're behind the 8 ball and you're dealing with some issues.
No, yeah, absolutely. But I actually can see the Moose, calming down a little bit. And if they can bring themselves to watch this game, as we're going to broadcast it still, whenever it gets going, that is, then, yeah, I mean, they could probably learn a lot because we're going to analyze the hell out of it for them pretty much.
Right. Still waiting on this game to start up. No stream available yet. And just trying to find out what might be going on with this game, and we haven't seen anyone say anything about it, so we believe it's going to happen. But I don't know yet. We're looking to find out.
Fading in 5.
Yeah. Let me see if we can. Oh, now we are seeing a stream start up, but I don't know if this is a practice or a game. We may actually have a game. Maybe they were getting together. It just wasn't being shown if this is the game. And, yeah, it looks like it is the game. All right. Well, we have Binghamton and Charlotte getting together now and playing game number 6. So we will go right to it now, as you see on your screen.
Who was streaming?
It is Epic Skillsy is streaming. And we'll talk about this game as we go along here. Starting lineups for it. You've got, on the Devils side, Stanley's Cup, Davey, and Crashman up front. TVG and Big Gren on defense, and Lakeinen back in net. Other side has Stifler Customs with Epic Skillsy at center, Dominator and Darth on defense. God of America back in net again for Charlotte, and he's playing very well this series, and certainly maybe the hot goaltender. Charlotte controlling on the face-off. And now Devils back the other way. Crashman throws it into the corner. Picked up there by Darth. Now puck in front, loose. Picked up again. Good save by God as he's able to get a good quick shot blocked. Now back the other way. Good chances early on for the Devils, as you say. And now controlling the other way is Epic. Puck held on by Lakeinen, and there'll be a face-off deep in the Devils zone. Just underway here, first period, Game 6. Charlotte up 3-2. Now the Devils back the other way. Puck thrown in. Devils control again, come back the other way. Stanley tries to get one up, but can't. Now coming the other way is Customs. Gets past the defender. Behind the net, Stifler trying to fight for it. Puck is loose out front. Stifler gets a poke in on it, but Lakeinen able to hold on. Devils win the faceoff, come back the other way as we reach the halfway point here in the first period. Opportunity in front, good break up there by Darth, and now coming back the other way, Customs. Good quick opportunity. GOA with the save, and now again another loose puck in front. Crashman was not able to get a stick on it. Quick shot in front. Now controlled by Charlotte. Flip down the ice. There will be no icing. Devils will have to control it. Puck is loose. And now the Devils come out. 7 minutes left to go in the first period. No score. Couple of good opportunities on both sides of the ice so far.
Yeah, it's a lot more open. It doesn't really seem like either team is trapping, which is a nice change of pace.
For the 30 seconds that we'll have in between periods 1 and 2, we will talk to Jack Dupe for a few minutes as we start up the second. We'll do that in a minute as he joins us. Good quick shot there by Customs, but nice save by Lakeinen, and a power play is going to come up now for Charlotte. Their first opportunity in this game. Devils win it, can't clear it out. Now finally it gets it out. Puck is flipped over the glass and face off.
I got a souvenir, Pops.
What was that?
I got a souvenir.
Thought you were talking to me. You said Pops.
I did. And I was.
Stifler wraps it around. Customs back out to the point. Shot is blocked. Picked up again.
He's up front.
Skillsy gets it up front. Not able to connect on anything there. And now dumped out again. 3 minutes left to go in the first. 35 on the power play for Charlotte. Skillsy controls. Tries to spin in front of the net. Blocked off nicely and taken out by Gren and cleared. Power play's over. Teams are at full strength. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Still no score. Good quick shot in front. And again, this is the kind of left to right, right to left movement from Lakeinen we're used to seeing. He anticipated that shot well. Puck loose in front. Devils trying to control it. Skillsy back behind the net for Customs now. Puck loose behind the net. Lakeinen was not on that side. Almost got in trouble there, and now the Devils trying to get out as we get down to the last few seconds. One more opportunity for the Checkers. Good quick shot, almost picked up by Stifler on a rebound, but nothing there, and the first period ends with no score.
As is tradition.
And we do have Jack Dupe on with us. Congrats, buddy, on the Game 5 victory.
Thank you.
Closing out San Jose in 5 games. You know, Dreamy.
How do you feel?
Dreamy's one guy to ask that because I'm sure he thinks he could have won it in 2. But I'll ask somebody a little more level-headed about this. 5 games against San Jose, is that something you really thought could happen?
No. I really felt like if we were going to win it, it would probably be in 6. I think that if it went 7, we could have won, but like that, I think it would have been a coin toss in Game 7. But like, I mean, look at the games. Like we had two 2-0 wins, a 2-1 win. The first game was a 1-goal game, so the only game that wasn't close was the one that they won. You know, they easily could have won, at least on the scoreboard, the 4 games they lost. So I think we got some fortunate bounces our way, and I mean, I think we played well enough to win. I think we deserved to win, but they very easily could have won that series.
Another penalty coming up this time against Charlotte. Binghamton will go into power play. You mentioned that the one game that San Jose won, and certainly after losing that first game of the season, I'm sure they were very motivated to win Game 2. But even if with a Game 2 loss, I got to believe you guys still felt pretty good after that first game.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, like, that's what I said when I talked to you the other day, was that just being 1-1 at that point with Pasta and User not being able to play anymore until Game 7, like, that was huge for us. We felt like that really, gave us some momentum. And Beal not being able to play either until Game 7, just having those guys.
Short-handed opportunity, and Skillsy.
What a goal.
Good break out there with him and Stifler able to get up the ice quickly on a first start off as a broken stick shot, and then all of a sudden they found themselves sprinting out of the zone. Good quick play by them, and Charlotte finds himself with a shorthanded goal and a 1-0 lead here in the second. So yeah, just back to what you're talking about. Obviously, winning 1 of 2 from that Pasta User line in the first 2 games. I think everyone kind of felt momentum was changing at that point, and certainly you guys got a lot of confidence at it. Now, before you got on, we were talking about the fact that now you guys are kind of in the same situation San Jose was in, where people expect you to win this now. How is your team gonna deal with that?
I hope that we go in with an open frame of mind. Like, we haven't played Charlotte or Binghamton much throughout the season, so we don't really know much about them. And it's not, the CUDA were front and center, so everything about the CUDA. You know what they had for breakfast. You know what they like to do in their off time. You know everything about the CUDA. I don't know anything about these 2 teams that we might potentially play. So I think we'll just go in with an open frame of mind and try to take it 1 game at a time. I don't think we're going to go in too confident, knowing that, people didn't think we had a chance against the CUDA, and we took them out. So it's a similar situation. You don't want to be on that end of it.
So how does Pasta like his eggs?
I'm going to guess over medium, only because I like him over medium and I like Pasta, so I'm hoping that he likes him the same way.
Optimistic, I like it.
Yeah.
Important questions of LG, folks.
Yeah.
Skills, he shows some skills right now. Oof. Making him dance.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to the final. You bring up, we talk about the situation where you need to take these guys seriously. We're also at the finals, and you know, you at this level, you can't think anybody got there by accident. It's, you know, you mentioned it. I think even Dreamy mentioned it. You know, the Charlotte team has played tremendously well towards the end of the season. And now in the playoffs, they've gotten hot at the right time. If that's who you wind up playing, they are, you know, they're no pushover, but, you know, you have to play the game like you're playing anybody else, and that is just going out and doing what you need to do. And I imagine that's going to be the message to everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. I think you said it very well. Oh, that's good. Pass. I like the way they're playing as a spectator, not as someone who might have to play against them.
Binghamton with a power play here late in the second. Skillsy obviously going off for the trip. What are some of the other things about this checker team you like? I mean, it seems like God of America has played fairly well this series. You know, it seems like they're getting timely, good play from everybody.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, the name that I keep hearing from people is Skillsy. So it seems like he's the guy to watch, so to speak.
Right.
But just, they seem like they're, I don't know, playing a team game. For a couple of games that I've watched of it, like, they look to be on the same page, which at this point in the playoffs you have to be if you want to keep going.
Coming down to the end of the second period here with Charlotte maybe getting one more shot off, but that'll be it after two. And a 1-0 lead so far for the Checkers on that 2-on-1 break. And just trying to look at what God of America has done so far in the playoffs in this round. And maybe the stats are wrong here. I'm not sure. I see him as playing 3 games here, but that can't be possible, right? Against the Devils. That's interesting. They have him in here for game 2 in that 4-3 win.
That might be right, though.
Why?
Because I think Lek has played 3.
Okay.
Wait, that's not even the right team.
Yeah, no. I'm looking at I'm looking at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I forgot what the rules are for goaltender.
It's the same,
goalies?
1 in 4, 2 in 6.
Yeah. So it could be a 5-2 split if it goes 7. What I'd like to mention is that after getting, I'll say, chirped in the chat box after giving up 5 goals, Dreamy came back with giving up 1 goal through 3 games.
Yep.
On 39 shots total.
Don't
That's
get
amazing.
that dude mad.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I mean,
someone calls him 5 goals against, and then he's just like, "Well, get shut out."
I don't know who it
3
was,
times.
but they said
I know who it was, and he hasn't really shown up lately. I'm not gonna name drop.
I also know who it is, but I was trying to.
Ooh, tell me, I'll name drop. I don't mind.
But he said something in the chat box, and he goes, "Sorry, Dreamy, you need under a 4.99 goals against average to talk in this chat box." And I don't think Dreamy liked that.
No. Dreamy needs to be able to be in the shot box. Like, he'll buy at a band if you're telling him you gotta be 4.99 or below to be able to talk. Like, he'll just get it done.
Yeah.
It's just.
Now tell him to be below 1.00.
A God of America is 3-0 in this series so far. Probably around a goal, maybe goal and a half per game, goals against. In the last 7 games, he's 5-2. The 2 losses were 1-0 losses, each one of them, to the Phantoms. So, the last 2 series, he has been probably their better goaltender. As much as I like Flyers, I think you know, I think at this point you keep starting him because he seems to have the hot hand. Devils back the other way trying to get something going here. Offensively, we haven't seen a whole lot from them. Some couple of good opportunities early in the first period, but it's been fairly quiet since. Meanwhile, Charlotte on the attack again. Devils coming back. Good quick passing. Loose puck in front, and GOA gets it. There was one opportunity a little bit earlier where they had a good give and go and a good slot shot, but again, goaltending was there. Fight behind the puck. 3-on-1 in favor of the Devils, and yet Charlotte comes out with it. Good hit there, knocking Skillsy off the puck. Devils come back the other way halfway through this third period. Still 1-0 Charlotte. Devils facing elimination if they can't win this one. Now back the other way, Stifler. Good quick shot, short side. Good save by Laakkonen. Pass in front, missed play, and golden opportunity for Customs to put them up 2-0, but Laakkonen holding his position. Again, still held in. And Skillsy gets tripped, and that'll be another power play for Charlotte. And it looks like they are calling a timeout right now.
They're trying to put the icing on the cake. I like it. Icing, that is, not the cake.
Yeah. Well, obviously if the series is done tonight, we won't be on tomorrow night. We'll try and get a show together for Friday, possibly Thursday, depending on availability of everybody. But we'll do a bit of a recap of these two series and then talk about the finals coming up. And then we will carry every game of the finals next week, starting on Sunday. The Moose are there. We're waiting for the winner of this series, and Charlotte 6:40 away from closing it out. Checkers on the power play. Drop back pass for Skillsy, but that was offsides. This is a chance for Charlotte to maybe put a dagger in the hearts of Binghamton, who have played well all series, but just not getting the upper hand enough in it, and down 3-2 right now. Customs back the other way. Flips it around, looking to try and hook up with Stifler, but that is met back there by Gren, and he clears it out. 30 seconds on the power play for Charlotte as we approach the 5-minute mark here. Puck flipped in now the other way.
Such clean entries by the Checkers. I'm actually kind of surprised by it.
Skillsy controlling, trying to find an opening. Can't find anyone to pass off to. Puck is kept in, though. Nice play by Skillsy to poke it in. Now he controls in the corner. Tries to get a pass off to Stifler, who's wide open, but good defensive play to block that pass. 3 minutes left to go in the third. The Devils desperately looking for an opportunity. Point shot is a good save. Nice play, nice shot by Gren to get it on net, but no good rebound there. And now an icing the other way against Charlotte. And now Binghamton going to be calling a timeout with 2:08 left to go in this one. Good play there to move the puck back to the point and give Gren a chance. And I don't think the Devils have done nearly enough of that in this game. Jack, do you care who you play out of these two teams? Does it make a difference to you?
Nope. It does not. Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference.
You guys don't prepare any differently, I'm sure.
No, I mean, we'll prepare similarly based on whoever it is, but depending on the team. But we have the option or the ability to watch their games. Take a look, see what they like to do. I mean, a bunch of the people on the team know how these guys play more than I do. I don't know many of the people. I don't know if I know any of them.
Skillsy
Besides,
controlling.
like, Chowski.
Yeah. Puck is loose. It'll be another power play for Charlotte. Binghamton at the worst possible time putting themselves down one man here. Now, I'm telling my team, if I'm the Charlotte captain here, don't let anybody get behind you.
Not again. Not like this.
You know, Dupe was with us the other night when we went 4 OT, so
Oh, my God.
anything's possible.
Please, no.
Don't worry,
Devils
I'm
do
here.
really like going down one and then scoring right at the end. And
They've-
then just
They've had several of
And then
those
multiple
games,
teams.
right? They've come back in a few of them.
Oh, right there.
Opportunity there for TVG, but could not hold on to it. Now a break the other way, and a wide open net as Customs gets Lakin and moving. And the Charlotte Checkers are 31.3 away from closing this out and going to the Calder Cup. Power play goal for Charlotte. And obviously the Devils need to take some chances there, but they got caught. Now back the other way. Puck is loose, slides just past the left post. Devils close to maybe having a prayer there. 15 left to go in this one. Back in the Charlotte zone. Picked up by TVG, wrapped around. Now Skillsy up on a break. And a good save by Lakin in there. Denies the breakaway goal. The puck is loose, but the time is out. And the game is over. And the Charlotte Checkers have also won their series now. 4-2, and they will take on Manitoba in the Calder Cup.
What a series.
A fun series to watch. The Devils came back quite a few times in this one to make it a series, to make these games more interesting, and to win a couple. But tonight, nothing on the scoreboard for them. Skillsy and Stifler with the 2 goals in this game, and Charlotte a 2-0 shutout, and they will move on and take on the Moose. And I don't know if we, I think we all, many of us expected the Checkers with the Devils getting some respect for being division winners, but the other team in this one, Manitoba, not necessarily one that anyone was figuring on, and so we will get ready for what is going to be a very interesting series coming up. And just by watching this game, Jack, any initial thoughts as to what to expect out of these guys? Do you have any?
I mean, everyone seems to think that the East is more defensive-minded, and I don't know if it is their. I don't know. I think the Charlotte played good D in that game, but I don't know if it's. I don't know that the offense that was going against them really put up many quality chances. It didn't seem like much creativity was happening on the offensive end for either team. So I'm looking forward to this series. It'll be fun.
Well, we got 2 interesting teams here, and I think we almost have what we mentioned earlier is a Manitoba team now who knocked off the Giant, and so everyone else is thinking they should win this. What do they do to not drink the Kool-Aid here, Zeus, and already award themselves the cup before the games even start?
Well, I mean, we got Jack here, so I would assume that he's gonna listen to me very carefully. Keep Jamie under control and don't get him sight banned. 7 more days, my friend. 7 days.
That's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
I'm going to speak up here as Dreamy's legal defense.
Uh-huh.
I've got him under control. It's
Listen
fine.
here, Mom.
He knows the line that he can toe, but not cross.
You sure about
I
that?
regularly get a message of hey, can I say this? And I'm just hell no, you can't. What
If
is
he has
wrong with
to
you?
ask that question, the answer is automatically no. No, for real though, if you can keep your team level-headed, you'll win. That's really all it is. Because realistically, yeah, the Checkers are a good team. They're in the finals for a reason.
Right.
You guys are phenomenal, just fully loaded from top to bottom. So just keep them level-headed, and you guys will lift it. You'll lift the Calder Cup. It'll be the Mooses for the second year in a row. Granted, it's a very different team than last year, but it'll be the first repeat we've had in PSN's LG side.
I'd like to mention a fun fact. The difference in points in the regular season from Charlotte to the Moose is greater than the difference from the Moose to the CUDA.
Oof.
So we were what? The CUDA had 27 more points than us, and we have 29 more points than Charlotte.
Interesting.
Which, that means that it's very similar situation to what we just went through.
Right.
I would think. But the stakes are higher.
Well, now it's the finals. What do you guys do now from now until games 1 and 2 on Sunday?
That's a good question.
Besides try and get Dreamy back down to reality.
That's I don't know. I think we try to, I think we'll enjoy this for a little bit and try to, talk to each other, get everyone excited for the series. I think that game 1, or there was almost overturned and then got turned back, kind of lit a fire under us. So I think we'll try to get everyone amped up. Everyone was really excited to play. I know I was. I know Jared and 90 were. And of course Dreamy was, but that's a foregone conclusion. But I think just trying to get everyone ready, and that's what we've said in our group chat was we beat, we won the Western Conference, great job, but now we still have one more. We're not done yet. And doesn't matter, obviously we'll be playing a worse team on paper than the CUDA, but doesn't matter. They're there for a reason.
We're before we get going, I'm looking to try and get Customs on to talk to here, and hopefully we'll hook up with him shortly. But let's go over. For the series that you guys have played so far, what is the typical prep that you guys would do?
Well, okay, speaking for this series only, I've only played 2 series because I was on vacation the first one. So this series only, what happened, I'll tell you what happened, what I did personally for the first the 2 games that I played. I could tell you that Dreamy won't play NHL at all before his scheduled games. And that's his ritual. He plays Fortnite and he drinks.
He played Fortnite up until you guys had to get in the locker room.
So,
I was concerned he didn't know that he was playing.
So that's what he does. And then yesterday, when I got home from work, I played 1 game of 6s on Xbox with 90, not with 90 and Jared, just 90. And then ate dinner and went to my friend's house, so I didn't have to be lag dupe. I could just be Jack dupe. And so I went there and played, and then it worked. So then today I was like, holy shit, I got to go there and do exactly the same thing that I did yesterday because I'm superstitious as hell. So, and meanwhile, it's snowing like crazy here. We got almost, I don't think we have half a foot, but we're getting close to it. So I drive to my friend's house 15 minutes away in the snow. Didn't wear socks because I didn't wear socks yesterday. Wore the same jacket, and I refused. They were playing warm-up games today, and I said, nope, can't do it. Didn't do that yesterday. So I just did exactly what I did yesterday and played Hut with my friend. And that's how I warmed up. But here's the difference. And here's the omen.
Yeah.
So Jared 90 and I are all Devils fans. I know, gross. But
hey, I'm a Panthers fan.
So Devils were on a 6-game losing streak, and they won today of a score 4-1. Those numbers sound familiar?
Yeah.
It was foreshadowing.
So you're saying Dreamy's the only one who drinks before, during, and after games?
Yeah, I'm just messed up. I just think weird stuff. I don't drink much. Because who knows what would happen.
Well,
You'd win the Calder Cup at this rate.
Maybe I'll have a celebratory drink.
Hey.
Do you guys come up with any kind of strategy of play based on the team you're playing? Is there anything that you do differently per team, or that's you don't take the time to really worry about that?
More in-game adjustments than like pre-game adjustments, I'd say. Before the first game we played, we knew that because the first series that I played against Manitoba, the Admirals, we were going down low a lot, just swinging around the boards, and they kind of caught on to it. So we figured that the CUDA would know that, so we tried to stay away from that and just try to possess the puck a little more in different ways. But besides that, mostly just in-game adjustments, seeing what they're giving us and trying to take what we can.
Still trying to get Customs on. Hopefully, in a few minutes we'll have him here. The overall playoffs and the way things have shapen up so far, now down to the finals. Is there anything out of the ordinary that any of you guys have seen that didn't come out the way you expected to? I'm assuming the fact that Charlotte has gotten as far as they've gotten now is probably a bit of a surprise.
That's probably the biggest surprise to me. I mean, I don't know what's the bigger surprise, them making it to the finals or the CUDA falling. I mean, I really think that that's a bigger surprise. Like, just because of the West was so strong, and they could have put up obviously an unreal record. I think it's the best in the history of the AHL, but they had to go through tough playoff teams. So, not that they were just they can't pick their schedule, but I think the Charlotte is the biggest surprise.
You guys, Zeus or Siege, you guys have any surprises that you've seen so far in the playoffs?
In the AHL or NHL?
AHL.
Okay.
Talks about the NHL.
Hey, 9 Live Panther over there, Team 23. Don't even.
1 in 5, moving on. Let's go.
So dumb. In the AHL, no, not really. The only surprising thing, actually, I would have to say, besides the Moose making it past not only the CUDA, but they also made it past Admirals, who, in my opinion, they had a very solid team as well, but they handled them in 6. So, the fact that they were able to beat the CUDA in 5, I mean, you guys kind of turned me into a believer pretty much overnight, as I kind of actually bet against you every single series. But yeah, hey, man. I mean, I know
bet
you
against
play
us
on
again.
No, see, I know you play on the NHL side for Xbox, so I'm like, all right, this guy is not dumb. He's not bad. You built an amazing team with both NHL and AHL players. So, my biggest question at this point is, will you come back and will you try to repeat?
Well, I would definitely love to. I would love to play with these guys again. The problem is, I don't know how if that's even possible. I mean, based on my salary and all the other stuff on the team.
Do you see the CUDA?
Yeah, but
that's Stockton and CUDA combined, and you beat them both.
Yeah, but I don't see how that All right, so I'm looking at their roster right now. I don't know. I don't
You're
know.
still
how
trying to
that
figure
happens.
out how you guys won, or how
No,
they were able to get the roster they did.
I don't know how they have all those people. Like Kornak had 70 goals this year, and he went 5-7-5, and then I went 8-7-5. Like, that's bonkers.
Yeah.
People fucked up.
Yeah, they did.
Man, you're 8-7-5. I didn't realize you were that high. I mean,
And
like, you're absolutely worth it, but like,
Oh, that's
in bidding where you go 8-7-5 and Kornak goes 5.
I won 5.5 last season. I'm not worth any of that.
What I'm most impressed with is like the way that Nazi and Lobo and JMM, how we got such a deep team with that much money wasted on me.
They still built like a very strong team that's deep, even though they spent almost 9 on you. That's really impressive.
Like the next highest paid player besides me is Jim, and he's 3.5.
After that, you have nothing but 500Ks, don't you?
We got a couple 1 mil, a 2 mil, then a couple 750s. But yeah, so not a lot. I think we're like just at the cap. We have 250,000 left over, so we're got a lot of breathing room. So I guess that means if we win it all, I'll take the boys out for some steaks.
That's a big commitment there.
Well, I'm a giver.
Well, yeah, we've been trying to get Customs on here, but just not able to connect on Discord. So let's we'll wrap it up here, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk to him in the pregame for Sunday's games and get the viewpoint of what's going on with Charlotte and how they feel about this upcoming series. Until then, let's get some final words here from Zeus and then Siege, and then wrap this up and get out of here. The way these series wound up, Zeus, and the matchup we have coming up, any surprises?
Surprises being, as I've said a couple of times, the Moose winning it in 5 on their end. The Moose winning in general was a surprise, but then doing it in 5 games was kind of a statement at that point. And then for the Checkers to close it out with 2 very good, solid team defense games back-to-back with different lineups, if I remember correctly, is kind of making it look like we're going to have a very interesting finals. It's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people believe. I can see it probably going to 7, to be completely honest, if both teams stay level-headed and don't let anything get in the way. Management on both sides needs to try to make sure that no shady, no forfeit, none of that kind of crap goes down, because that's just never good for team morale as a whole.
Siege, so far the playoffs and what we're seeing in the finals, the quality of play so far. How do you feel about the playoffs that we've seen so far and what we have coming up for the finals?
The playoffs have been good. The games that I've gotten to watch they've been close at times, a bit boring, but close. And I think it'll be a decent series coming up, but I think how I think it's going to end up. I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
You sure?
Maybe Thursday we're going to be back on. I'll have I'll have a list of just
you'll beat the horse
things
a little
to say
more.
about the East. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to get out of here. And listen, good games tonight. Jack, again, congrats to you and your team. Best of luck in the finals coming up this week, and I'm sure we'll talk to you before games 1 and 2.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
That's it for us tonight. The Checkers and the Manitoba Moose are in the finals coming up on this Sunday, and we'll bring you a live show coming up this week. We'll get information out tomorrow about when that's going to be. So keep an eye on the LG main page for AHL, and we will talk to you more about what's going on for that show and for the playoffs. Until then, this is TSibs for Siege and for Zeus saying so long, and we will talk to you in a couple of days.